together that 4th of July day. That's when the land you're standing on became the U.S. of A. United we will stand, but divided we fall. One nation under God says it all. Men are created equal, words written in by hand. They all stand to fight when a cry for freedom rings. Freedom isn't free, it comes with a cost. One nation under God says it all. One nation under God says it all. This old world's changing, it's changing every day. For the land of the free and the home of the brave. Stand up everybody, stand proud and tall. One nation under God.
Good evening and welcome to IITW Radio. How you doing, Joe, Lee, Selena, Doug? I'll get the rest of the shout-outs a little bit later. It is 2/26 of 2019. Holy crap. Valentine's Day is come and gone, and February is just about out of the books. Okay, we have, as always, on Tuesday nights, we have my co-host, Mr. Greg Williams. How you doing, Greg?
Great.
Or should I call you, as the fans call you, Sitting Bull?
Sitting Bull. Running Bear.
Yeah, Running Bear.
I identify as Running Bear.
Oh, man. What a freaking day. I was at county meetings all day. So,
Really?
Yeah, some people were able to watch them, but the sound wasn't very good. Next time I'll be more prepared.
Well, hopefully they got some good county business done.
They did. So, how the hell you been doing this week?
That reminds me of a song, and it goes a little like this. I am a lineman for the county. There you go.
Yeah, that was Calvin O that opened up the show tonight with One Nation Under God. I have to give him credit. Calvin's a good man. He's going to be over here. We need to go have lunch when he gets over here. I'll drive up to Jacksonville. You pay.
Great. Oh, love to. We'll get together. He's a talent.
Yeah, so there is a lot going on. We need to get to it.
How about the state of New York, man? Is that a messed up state or what?
Oh.
They're proud of what they do. They're now they're all about pink for some reason and turning the World Trade Center pink for some reason, and they celebrate really terrible things going on in the state of New York, and people can't wait to move out. And all I'm saying, when you move to Florida or you move to Texas, leave your New York state of mind in New York. We like low taxes. We like less government. We like our guns and our God. So just remember that when you move down to Florida or Texas.
Yeah, did you see what the freaking Democrats pulled? Okay, you have Republicans that are in there trying to pass a bill so that if a baby's born alive during an abortion, they can't kill it. And then you got the Democrats shutting it down. I got a picture of them. I want everybody to see. The Democrats have voted against this bill. You have Harris.
Oh, good. Are they all running for president?
They all voted they voted against the Born Alive Act. So if a baby...
Well, that just goes to show that the Democrats really don't value life unless you're an illegal alien.
I mean,
if you're a Mexican or you're MS-13 or you're some terrorist or you're some radical Islamic person that you want to move to America, they're more concerned about you than little babies.
Well, that's the running party for the Democrats this year, except for you got crazy Joe Biden who's not in there. But I mean, these are all senators.
Hey, Joe Biden, man, that guy's a hypocrite if there ever was one.
But those are all your top senators. I mean, that are all running. You got Kamala Harris, you got old Booker, Brown, Gilbert, and your favorite.
That pot smoking Kamala Harris.
Yep.
I'd hit the bong with her, boy.
And then you got your favorite person. You got your favorite person, That old crazy white woman.
The crazy white woman thinks she's an Indian, but now she's denying she's an Indian. I think she came to her senses and realizes that, it's more fun to be white and just say you're an Indian and pull the wool over Harvard. Harvard, hey, how about higher education in this country? The last 20 years of all these tax dollars, and what do we got to show for it? OAC. Really?
Yeah,
Congressman from New York, perfect example of the waste of money in higher education. These guys are just indoctrinating our young people with stupid, super old, discredited, socialist type ideas, big government ideas, and it's just terrible. So we get people like OAC, and we get the Green Deal people. They're already indoctrinating little kids. You see how Senator Feinstein had to run some out of her office?
Oh, yeah.
These teachers and stuff. I mean, it's ridiculous.
And that's the first time I've ever really heard any truth come out of Feinstein. And she told those kids, you cannot correct the situation in 10 years.
Yeah.
And the 16-year-old girl goes, well, we voted for you. And she goes, how old are you? And she goes, 16. She goes, you didn't vote for anybody yet.
I know.
Hello, Gloria. How you doing, Gloria? You have to give some of our shout-outs as they come on to our normal listeners. Yeah, but, I mean, how crazy is that, though, that you have these people that, I mean, it only makes sense that if a baby comes out and it was during an abortion and it's alive, that you don't save it. That is freaking murder.
It is murder because guess what? The bottom line is when do I think that unborn children, I think the unborn should have a right. I don't know what, maybe is it after 3 months, 6 months? I don't know for the point of conception, but I do think if someone murders a pregnant woman, in some states they can count the baby who was killed, and it's like murdering 2 people. But some of these lib states like New York and California, they don't even recognize the unborn child.
It's that way in New York. If you punch,
New York's a crappy state. That's why people are moving out. I wouldn't live in New York. New York City, a great city, but unless you're wealthy, super wealthy, New York's not that hospitable of a place. They're screwing the middle class, just like California. They're shrinking the middle class. The middle class is leaving these high tax states, big government states, as quick as they can. I don't blame them.
Hello, Miss Debbie. Yeah, well, if you look at Chicago, I saw a thing that came out off of the AP, and in the Associated Press, it shows Chicago, which in 1970s, it was pretty predominantly middle class. Now, the whole state is freaking poor, and you got one little section of rich up there.
Yeah, I know.
Ironically, it's right where Obama lives.
Spread out in the rural areas now. It's terrible.
Yeah, so there's no middle class in Chicago.
Well, Illinois, the state of Illinois, if you get outside of Chicago, you can find some conservatives and people that actually know how to live by the rules and actually respect the law. But, what is it about our big cities that have been run by Democratic politicos? I'm talking about Detroit and Chicago. New York City was down in the dumps until Giuliani straightened it out, and then Bloomberg built on that, and now de Blasio is throwing all of that away.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, heck, they were bribing Amazon to come, and then Amazon said, well, you got too many crackpots, too many anti-business people here, too many people that really don't like even America. Really, if you can't, if you're anti-capitalism, you're anti-American. That's all I got to tell you. And if people don't understand that, then they're missing out on what it is to be an American.
Well, there was a professor at Harvard. You're talking about Cortez there.
Unimpressed. Go ahead. But you said there's a professor from Harvard. Great. Some of the dumbest people I ever met were in education. But go ahead.
He actually sat down and figured out, Fort Gates just joined us, by the way. He sat down and figured out that under the Green Deal, that if you took all the money from everybody in the United States, billionaires, middle class, and poor, and you put that all into the Green Deal, it wouldn't even be enough to fund it for 1 year. How's that for
Well,
socialism?
this worried the Democrats because they want to turn America into Venezuela, and they give everything for free. Here, have a free phone. Starts with a free phone. Then how about free food? How about
What,
free health care? How about we own you now?
what did you
Really,
say?
I don't want to be owned.
Well, look what old Madudo's done to him, or Doodoo Man.
Yeah,
They have.
his days are numbered.
They came in. They took their guns away from him. I don't know if you saw any of the shots from CNN and.
Classic socialist, liberal, big state. You know, the Nazis came from the left. Just remember that. A classic liberal move, take the guns away, and then we move to the hard left and become totalitarianism, you know. Then we become, you know, Venezuela. That's what they all do. They take the guns away, and then they can kind of get away with a lot of stuff. That's the sad part about this revolution coming on, is the good people don't have any guns.
Well, they're down
What
there
crap
shooting
idea that
freaking.
is.
They're down there with wrist rockets. I mean, slingshots shooting at the army with rocks. I mean, that's the same thing that's happened over in Tel Aviv and all these other places around the world. Everywhere socialism has gone, it has never freaking worked.
You got to have, you know, that's why America's never been invaded. And any country that was stupid enough to invade America would really pay a big price. Okay. So you won't really see that because we have too many guns here.
Did you see the Al Qaeda camps and the ISIS camps that are in Venezuela now?
Well, I understand that, but you know why? Because you got a bunch of leftists. Heck, if you had Omar had her way, they'd be over there in Minnesota.
Oh yeah, yeah.
You know, this is how dumb the Democrats are. Let's get this radical Muslim Brotherhood member, congressman, and put her on the House Intelligence Committee. Oh, that's just brilliant. Oh, by the way, why don't we as Democrats hire some Pakistani computer guy and let him control all our computers, and then haul ass to Pakistan after he downloaded everything to Pakistan? I mean, and that's your
Yeah,
Democratic Party. It's unbelievable. These people are that stupid.
What did you? Okay, so I've got the solution for building the wall. You got the Dems saying that we don't need it. We don't need it. We don't need a wall. Bullcrap. First of all, you do need the wall, and I hate to keep harping on the wall. They're trying to block Trump now from the wall, but here's a good idea right here. You got El Chapo. They just seized $14 billion from him. The U.S. did. Take that money.
They could get that done.
Take that money they got from El Chapo, build the wall, and then put up a plaque right there, built by Mexico.
There you go. I like it. I like it.
Trump has fulfilled his promise.
Was built from contributions from El Chapo, which goes to prove the point that you know, there's drug money, and if you can make good things happen with it, you know, after it's done, or after you seize the bad guy, then more power to you. You know, I'm not a big fan of forfeiture laws, but there obviously are places that they should work. And that's one place that I think that you could start. You know, maybe we should just do forfeiture laws on, you know, illegal citizens or non-Americans that are doing drugs in America. And then you can catch them and forfeit all their stuff. I still don't like the concept of our government taking stuff from us because they think it may have been used in criminal activity or may not have been used. See, sometimes they overreach. You know, that zero tolerance thing where, oh, God, they found a joint on a boat, so now the government's going to seize the boat. Now, I don't think that's correct, and that's why I've always been skeptical of forfeiture laws.
Oh, we have a bunch of pothead listeners. So I say leave the pot alone and go after everything else. Seize the money, except for the weed, unless they're bringing in, you know.
Well, if they're major drug dealers from out of the country, go for it. You know, I'm not a big fan of forfeiture laws, but in this case, I'm a fan. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, hey, you would, you know, the feds, when they're actually, you know, not making up crime and trying to set people up, they actually used to do a pretty good job in drug interdiction and whatnot. So they really know what they're doing typically. And, you know, when they're left to actually being law enforcement officers instead of political hacks for the Democratic Party and the deep state.
Yeah,
That's the
Aaron.
sad part about the FBI and the Department of Justice in particular. How it's been on decline for some time. And it's bad what happened to it, and I hope that this new guy Barr gets it straightened out.
Yeah, Aaron just joined in, and Teresa wrote in and said that Chad was just talking about the same thing as we're talking about right now. So at least we got some people on the same page with us.
Oh, good.
I mean, we still have
Well,
our
I mean, it's out
haters.
there. It's just amazing. I mean, it's amazing how well, this is something I was going to tell you. I mean, how dumb some people can be. But in any event, how about Bill Mayer? Bill Mayer, the big comment, you heard about it over probably yesterday or the day before when he was talking about that the middle class is dumb and middle class isn't educated. I'm like, well, gee, what are you talking about? You're educated. You and that socialist education up there in some of these, Ivy League schools in particular, I get really ticked off at. For spreading misinformation for really literally 50 years, because these same socialist arguments they made in the 70s. They didn't work then, they don't work now, and they keep doing it. But Bill Mayer basically calling out the flyover country, telling everybody in flyover country is dumb. It's saying all kinds of negative stuff about the flyover country. And that's because Bill's a elitist. He lives in his nice gated community behind his walls. And he has probably a bunch of guns that he doesn't, share with the public. And there you have your classic liberal. Thank you for liberalism.
Hey, I got one more.
Not all Democrats are bad. There are some good Democrats. Don't forget it.
We have a good Democrat.
When you find a good Democrat, you want to enjoy that time,
We have
because they're rare. They're hard to find.
We have a good Democrat. I'm going to put her picture up right now so you can see her. There you go. What do you think of that picture?
Oh, wow. That's kind of weird.
It's a septic truck. I saw that.
Wow. Oh. Gee, well, she can handle it. Nancy Pelosi is one tough old bird. And I mean old bird.
Oh, yeah. She's flipping losing it, though.
I heard that. Well, you know what? She's not losing it. If she's not, she probably is losing it. But Joe Biden's losing it too. Joe Biden's senile.
Well, she
run that old man. I mean, he is senile.
She on Valentine's Day she wished everybody happy Thanksgiving. So I think she's flipped her damn lid. Hello, Brian and Martha. Martha said they lost their minds.
I know.
Or they lost their objectivity.
Far out there, it's hard to imagine how far out there they are.
Yeah, she said they lost their objectivity.
Oh yeah. Hey, how about Smolik? How the left wrapped themselves around this guy, and oh man, this is oh my, all these two old white guys at 3 o'clock in the morning in 30-degree weather in Chicago below freezing.
Hey, we got
wearing bag hats, wanting to beat somebody up.
We got a picture.
And the more he fought, the more incredible it was. Unbelievable. Yet CNN bought it. They bought it.
Pull that picture of Smollett up.
Which one?
The Cosby and Smollett. I got a picture for you right here.
Okay.
Okay, you're gonna love this one. Okay, this is Smollett, right? And so I haven't heard anything about Bill Cosby lately, but I have a future picture coming up. Tell me what you think of this. They're in prison together.
That's weird. That's weird. That's weird.
That's his new pudding pop.
Bill Cosby was a funny guy back in the day. I don't know what all happened. Might have an appeal there. Who knows?
Kimberly asked, Democrat debate. I wish some Democrats would come on here and debate. Because I'd really like to get
debates to actually start. I want to see how far they'll go left. Because really, it would really be fun. It wouldn't surprise me if Bernie Sanders won again, because there's so many of them. He's going to win his 25%. And the rest of them will be fighting for the rest of the pie.
Bernie Sanders will not win this time. Hello, Amy. You know why Bernie Sanders is not going to win? Because he's an old white guy. And anymore, it's a crime to be a white dude, especially old.
That's what makes it even funnier.
Josh said you guys are spot on. Keep it up.
Joe Biden is going to nominate, if he got it, he'd nominate Beto to be his vice president.
Yeah, well,
Two white guys.
that's the other thing. I mean, who's going to be Kamala Harris's running mate? And what are these guys and what are these women and guys even running on? Because open borders, killing babies, higher taxes, free health care that's not free, free college that's not free. By the time they get through paying for all this, who the hell's going to pay for it? The bad thing about socialism is that it doesn't leave any room to where you want to improve yourself. You're only going to work for what you're going to get. Everybody gets an equal amount.
It mildly. That puts it mildly. It creates economic disincentives to be productive.
Well, years ago, Harvard did a professor there, and I keep bringing up Harvard.
Really?
But I'm trying to give Harvard some credit. Come on, cut me a break.
Harvard, the school that fought that Pocahontas was an Indian, even though she was obviously a white woman.
Hello, Amy. I don't know if I said Amy, but I don't know if you remember. Quite a few years ago, when Obama was in office, there was a professor at Harvard, and he took
Harvard grad Obama. Man, I'm real impressed.
He took everybody in the classroom and he said, "I'm going to show you how socialism works." So he gave everybody in the classroom A's, all the way across the board, and he said, "We'll see where we stand at 6 weeks." At the end of 4 weeks, everybody in the class had F's, and he asked the students, the top students, he said, because they amortized the grades out across the board. He said, "This is how socialism does not work." And they amortized the grades out. And then at the end of 4 weeks, everybody in the class had F's, straight F's. And he asked the top people, his top students, he goes, "Why did you guys go to F's?" And they said, "Well, we got tired of trying. We got tired of pulling the rest of them." The middle people, the B's and C's and D's and stuff, he said, "Now, what happened with you guys?" "Well, we just, we were pulling off the A crowd, and we weren't going to let the bottom half suck us out of our grades." And the bottom class, they just said, "We've been doing what we've been doing." Now, my daughter learned a good lesson as far as socialism goes. She's been a waitress. She's putting herself through college, and they put all their tips in a jar. And she told me a few months ago, she said, "Dad, I understand now why socialism doesn't work." She goes, "I bust my ass at doing my job, and I'm good at it." She goes, "And I don't smoke cigarettes or I don't get on my cell phone. I turn it off when I'm at work." And she said that the other girls, there's a bunch of girls in there now, they go outside and smoke cigarettes, and she has to cover their ends. And all the money goes in the tip jar. At the end of the night, it gets split. And she goes, "It's just not fair. These other girls slack off. They don't do squat. They don't bust their tables. They don't do nothing. I'm over there cleaning up their mess and doing everything else. For what? The same pay? This sucks. I'm quitting."
But the Democrats would say, but it's dignity in work. And she's got a living wage. And we really don't care. We would just as soon pay you money and have you sit home. I mean, that's about how stupid the Democrats are. Again, they want everybody on the government dole so they can control.
Kimberly wrote in and said, "Talk about babies. We shouldn't have babies men don't want." And you're exactly right. If they use contraceptives, wrap that thing up, there won't be any extra babies. Use safe sex, there won't be any extra babies. I know a gal that's had 19 abortions. 19 abortions.
Whoa.
And when I ask her, "Why don't you use a condom?" I don't like it.
That lady, I'll tell you what, she's lucky to be alive.
Yep. 19 abortions. And I asked her, why don't you get on the pill? "Well, I don't like the pill. I don't believe in the pill."
But see, that's what the left thinks is being a feminist, and that's what's so ugly about the left.
She said she doesn't like the pills and she doesn't like condoms. And I said, "You know what? I don't like my tax money paying for your damn abortions." So now I understand that, what we were talking about earlier there, Kimberly, was babies being born outside the womb. That when they're outside, that is murder. And I don't think anybody's even going to debate that with me. And a baby comes out and it's alive. If I go over and kill that same baby that a doctor's going to kill, where the hell am I going to wind up?
Look, I don't even like talking about it. I'll tell you what, though, there's a movie that kind of covered it. What was that movie that brilliant guy, Obama tried to have him imprisoned because he had some great movies about showing the
Dear
hypocrisy of
Benghazi.
Obama.
Dear
Yeah,
Benghazi.
well, yeah. And what's that movie? The abortion movie about the Philadelphia doctor?
Um, um,
It's a fantastic movie, very accurate. It's a true story, and the left really went apeshit when it came out, and they still tried to bury the movie. But I'd recommend everybody see that because really, that's what that doctor did.
yep.
Yeah, they literally killed live-born babies in Philadelphia for years, and I'm talking about in the hundreds.
Well, what about Planned Parenthood now? You got all
That's
these
the
people that back Planned Parenthood, but let me tell you something. They got busted selling baby parts. Now, if I wanted to make $100,000, I could go on the black market and sell a kidney to some rich bastard, and I could make 100 grand. But if I sell a kidney, I go to prison. There's laws against that. If you sell a body part to somebody, you go to prison. It's called black market harvesting. Now, how does Planned Parenthood get away with that and on video, and yet not one of them went to jail?
Oh, okay, I'll tell you how. The same way Hillary Clinton can delete her 3,000 emails, take hammers to her cell phones, blatantly obstruct justice, and not get charged. Corrupt Democrat policies, the deep state plays favorites. They are particularly fond of corrupt Democrats. And it's a sad state. And thank God we got Donald Trump trying to clean it up. And he's making some progress.
Yeah, he finally is.
Yeah, and now that Ryan's gone, maybe we can get some stuff done.
Let me ask you.
Ryan was a disaster for Trump. I mean, you got to give Ryan credit for the tax bill, the second, last year. But he blew the first year because they really should have done more on immigration. And they should have gone immigration first.
Oh, yeah. Republicans spent too much time trying to get a health care pass through that was never going to get passed through.
Well, guess what, though? You know what, though? All that they did, getting rid of the individual mandate, to me, it was worth it. As long as they got rid of the individual mandate, which affected small business people like you and I, which was if we chose not to be in Obamacare, the government was still going to try to get in our pocket for thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars. And that's ridiculous.
Yep.
So I didn't like that. I was happy to get rid of that. I thought that was anti-American. That was all part of the lies that the whole program was passed on. You can keep your doctor and all that stuff.
Kimberly wrote in and said, "Can you please stop talking about women and talk about yourself?" Okay. What do you want to know about myself? I'm not. This is not bashing women. You're getting it wrong, Kimberly. This has nothing to do about women. This has to do about doctors being able to murder Democrats or babies. And,
Democrats. Is that a Freudian slip?
Yeah.
I think that seriously.
Whoa. I got to stop you for a second, Greg.
Okay.
Kimberly wrote, we have the right to not want a baby, not after 3 months, though. You know what? You have the right not to, Kimberly. And I'm not going to sit here and bash you, and I don't do that. And I'm not going to debate it. But there are different things you can do. You can not use contraceptives. That will keep you.
What about the morning after pill? I don't think that's a problem. I think that, they ought to be able to use that.
You can use the morning after pill. You can go to Azalea Health and you can get pills for free. The health department provides them. Planned Parenthood provides them. You can use condoms. There's lots of things to do to keep that. Not only is it, to me, it's not right to do it. That's just my personal belief. But what it does to a woman's body. Now, I went to med school. I know exactly what abortions do to a woman's body. Not only to her body, but to her psyche. It messes up her mind. And you want to talk about guys? Okay, I'll talk about guys. I raised my kids. I'm not a deadbeat dad. Okay, we'll talk about me because you can call me a low-down SOB. You can do whatever you want. I've crapped in tubas. I got arrested for pot when I was younger. I wrote a couple bad checks and went to jail. I'm not perfect. But I always have tried to be a good dad. But you want to talk about dads? There's some deadbeat dads. The laws do not do anything to them. In that,
Talking about they take their driver's license and then
well,
they can stay deadbeat dads because it's hard to make money without a driver's license.
well, they do that, but there's a lot of low life dads that don't want to do and take care of their kids.
I agree. There are people
Now-
that are deadbeats, but yeah, there are deadbeat parents and deadbeat dads. No question about it.
Now, I just got to that part, Kimberly. There's a lot of dads, but let's be fair about this too. There's a lot of women, and I know a bunch of women that abandon their kids for pieces of crap men. Instead of supporting those kids, they dump them. But that's not what we're about tonight. We could talk about that Friday night. I love women. I always have, always will. But I respect women. But I respect kids. And I think when a baby comes out of the womb, that you kill that baby, that is murder. Martha wrote, my sister had 2 abortions over 40 years ago, never got over it, and took her life in 2010. I know a couple of women like that as well.
That's tragic. I'm very sorry to hear that. And you know what, though? You know, abortions, I would think that there would be a little bit of, that could be a traumatic experience. And I will say this, though, for the pro-abortion crowd, you know, the women that do choose to have those, you know, they make a tough choice. And, of course, they want to hang out with people that are like-minded so they don't feel like they're condemned forever. I mean, look, they make a mistake, and it's a sad mistake. Is it a sin? Probably. But you know what? If you have a relationship with the good Lord, you might be able to put it back together. So it is a tough thing to go through, I'm sure. And that's why they should be rare, okay, but safe. If there ever is a reason to have them, they should be safe and rare. That's my take, but go ahead.
Well, Jolie wrote, they still drive without a license. They just try to use that for an excuse, and she's absolutely right. But Kimberly, back to your point, I've adopted 4 kids, actually more than that, because all the kids that I've helped raise, and my niece is on here listening right now. Her name is Selena, and she'll tell you, I helped raise her and her brother, and I didn't have to do it. There's a lot of people out there who will adopt those babies, and it'll give a chance for a child to have a decent life. Yes, there's some scumbuckets, and yes, there's bad dads out there. But the thing is that I adopted. I've got 4 kids. One of my adopted kids is still living at home. He graduates this year, and he happens to be black. So the person that wrote in that I'm a racist, kiss my ass. I've got 2 black kids. I adopted both of them, and I love them just as much as they are my kids.
Well, that reminds me of a song, and it goes a little like this. Having my baby with the woman I love to me.
Okay, so what do you think about Trump going over there? And I've been hearing a bunch of people say that, he shouldn't be kissing up to Kim Jong-un.
These people don't understand negotiation. Trump's doing something that's never been done before that nobody could ever do. We've had a bunch of panty-waist presidents. I mean, George W., he did okay. He did kick Iraq's ass a little bit. But the bottom line is we've had Americans that wanted to lead from behind. We have people that should not have been anywhere near the White House, in the White House, and running a very weak foreign policy. So, obviously you got to be strong in whatever we do, and he is strong. And you know what? The Vietnamese are very impressed with Donald Trump. Everybody's impressed with Donald Trump except our mainstream media. And how about Senator Menendez, who, oddly enough, wrote a letter saying, the Trump people should be tough on Korea. Well, I think they're pretty doggone tough on Korea. I think Korea's quit sending missiles all over the world, quit trying to blow it up, everybody. They're making a lot of progress. I'm very proud of our president. He should get a Nobel Prize for this. And if you really want to know more about the Korea situation, talk to Dennis Rodman. He knows a lot about Kim Jong-un and about how weak the Obama administration was viewed. And, again, our country is much stronger, much safer, in a much better place now than it was before Trump.
Well, you talk about, Vietnam, for example, that they would have had nukes by now, had the Vietnam crisis not. Vietnam right now is one of the most prosperous countries around, and the Korean War is about to end because of Donald Trump. Now I'm going to show you something. I want to put it up here.
But you know what? They need traffic lights in Vietnam.
Okay.
Wow.
They said that Trump will get us nuked, right? This is all before this. If we get nuked, it will be by missiles built by American technology, sold to China by Bill Clinton. This is just fact. Funded by billions of American dollars to give Iran by Barack Obama.
Which was really ridiculous. And we can't even get a little money for the wall.
You got warheads from American uranium sold to Russia by Hillary Clinton.
Unbelievable. That should be investigated. And Rothenstein is involved in that. This guy tried to cover that up, man.
But this is all Trump's fault? That's all Trump's fault?
Really? I know. I love that. Can you send me that?
Yeah.
I'd like to get that and, and share that with some of my independent friends.
Those are just facts.
There are many Democrats that support Trump. They don't want to talk about it, but there are many that do.
Those are just facts. Hillary Clinton and Barack Obama, the whole damn administration, 25% of our uranium went through Canada and then wound up in Vladimir Putin's hands. Now, what do you think Vladimir Putin was doing that?
On a clear pay to play. Yet nobody charged her. Nobody really investigates. A big cover up. And, Sessions blew it too. What a terrible appointment he was.
Yeah.
Department of Justice has served our president very poorly up until now. I thought Whitaker did a pretty good job filling in. I think Barr is going to be the man. We need somebody I hope he's got some integrity because, Mueller doing such a one-sided investigation and everything that he charged Manafort for, he could have gotten from Podesta's brother. Podesta, the former head of the DNC, his brother's is all up doing all of that stuff. A lot of Democrats are doing the same thing as Manafort, but they didn't get. They got a free pass. Hell, they got immunity.
Most people think that Manafort. Most people think that Manafort is thrown in prison because of Russian collusion. No, he got thrown in because he didn't register as a foreign diplomat. That's the only reason he went to jail.
Tax things. I don't know. I don't know all the details. I know he had some issues that were old and this, that, and the other. But, but for the fact that he was, and he'd already been cleared of all of that, and then he got involved with Trump, so then they went after him.
Lori wrote in and said the Democrats voted against the latest abortion bill because it is frivolous because there's already a bill that covers that from George W. Bush. Google it. It's called the Born Alive Infant Protection Act of 2002.
I've heard that argument, and there's something to be said for that, but the symbolism of it looked bad for me.
Yeah.
The fact is, hey, a little, this would have been a little bit more pointed. But yeah, I'm not surprised. You would think that all life is precious, and I don't know what the bill was, but she may have a point there.
Yeah, it was the Born Alive Infant Protection Act of 2002. It's still in effect and hasn't been dropped.
Yeah, that's good. Well, then why would we do it again? I don't understand that either.
Yep.
Unless there was something a little bit different, that's all I can think of. There must have been some slight variation. I don't know. Or it's just political theater.
Yep. It defines I've got it right here in front of me, the interpretation of the bill defines a born alive infant as a person, human being, child, individual. Acknowledges human rights of any child born within the United States. Born alive is defined as the complete expulsion of an infant at any stage of developing that has a heartbeat, pulsation, or umbilical cord, breath, or voluntary muscle movement, no matter if the umbilical cord has been cut. And it goes on and it talks about that. Well, we're going to move on.
Start getting into a bunch of lawyerly definitions and, whatever. It might have been redundant, but the whole concept of the idea of killing babies like apparently they can do in New York and they try to do in Virginia is unappealing. Okay. And what's happening as a result of this stupidity, and New York is very proud to sign their bill. Yeah, what happened is that more people are switching from pro-choice to pro-life. It used to be about 48-48. Now it's starting to creep up a little more on the pro-life side. You know, again, safe and rare is the only way to fly when you're talking about abortion.
Kimberly
That's the
just
way I
asked.
look at it.
Kimberly just asked me a question. She said, "Why do you love Trump? Why?" I don't love Trump. Let me make something clear here, Kimberly. I'm an independent. Greg's a Republican. I'm an independent. I just got through bashing Ryan and the Republicans a few minutes ago because they didn't pass bills. They didn't pass get health care for everybody. That mandate that was sitting there, if the mandate had not been crunched by Trump and the Republicans, you younger people would have been stuck paying for us old farts as health. At the end of that, 4,000% increase on Obamacare. It was set for disaster. Obama lied about it. He said you can keep your doctor, you can keep your insurance, you can keep this, you can keep that. Nancy Pelosi said they never even read it. You had to pass it to find out what was in it. Okay, it's not that I like Trump. There's some things that Trump does. The eminent domain. Well, my people, the Blackfoot Indians, they've gone in and taken land from them to build the damn snake pipeline. There's a few things that I don't like about Trump.
But they could trade a little bit of that land out. They could swap something out. I'm sure they could do something about that.
That was
When
my
you're
ancestors'
done, let me
burial
explain.
grounds.
When
He
you're
sold
done,
it,
though,
you know.
well,
But
we'll talk about that later. When
but-
you're done, though, let me talk about why I love Trump.
okay, but I deal in facts here, Kimberly. Black unemployment is the lowest it's ever been in the history of the United States. Okay, even during the slave days, whenever all the blacks were employed as slaves, black home ownership is up. Hispanic home ownership is up. Hispanic job unemployment is down. The economy is booming like it hasn't been booming basically since Ronald Reagan. The things that he's done, look at your gas prices. We are now the #1 exporter in the world of both natural gas and fossil fuels. That what has happened, and this is only in 2 years, he has done more for the United States in 2 years as a president than anybody has, including Ronald Reagan. You would have to go all the way back to Andrew Jackson to find that out, when there was no deficit. But it's not that I'm in love with Donald Trump, but this thing with Make America Great Again and people saying, oh, well, that's a racist thing. No, it's not. What is racist about making America great again? There's nothing wrong with it. There's nothing wrong with liking a person. The United States is a business. And if you have a business and you have a president that is running your business, the president of a corporation, not the president of the United States, and they go and spend all your money. Obama spent more than all the presidents combined up to his cabinet.
Yeah.
All of them combined.
It would have spent more if they would have let him, but they tried to break him in.
Now, she also wrote, first of all, I can't get insurance at all now, and I got insurance before and gassed it up. Gas is up, dude. And no, it's not. I just paid $2.49 for diesel that I was paying $4.58 for when Obama was in office. Fuel prices are down. I don't know where you're getting that from.
Okay.
But I'm not going to stay on that. Go ahead, Greg. What you got?
Well, let me finish up.
Listen in Friday
Trump
night, Kimberly, and we'll go over the
I
stuff.
love Trump because he tells it like it is. He says what he means. He means what he says. He's tough. He's smart. And he's so anti-establishment, and that's really what we need. The establishment has really sold us down the river in this country. The Republican establishment, terrible. The Democratic establishment, even worse. I mean, a lot of them are in cahoots together. It's all big government, big state. And Trump is smart. You know, he doesn't want to be big government, big state, because guess what? We can't all work for the government. We got to pay taxes. Heck, we got to support the military. You know, our tax dollars go to a lot of things. They don't really need to be going to a bunch of illegals all the time. You know, California, what a basket case that state's turning into. But Trump is like he's like the fresh air. I mean, he's not a politician. He's not a phony. You know, you know what he says. You know how he feels. He tweets it. You know, this guy's an idiot. He'll let you know. She's an idiot. He's equal opportunity. I like it. I like his style because he backs up the talk. You know, he walks the walk and he talks the talk. And that's why I love Trump.
Yeah, well, Kimberly, let me say something. I agree with you on the insurance. Okay, the insurance that you were going to have before was cut as a failure. Obama knew it, the Democrats knew it, the Republicans knew it. Everybody knew it, except for the American citizens, and that's because they were hit blindside with it. But when you come and tell me, and I had health insurance before then, but when you come and tell me that I have to purchase something or I'm going to have to pay a fine, that's just wrong. I mean, are they going to tell you, Kimberly, that you can't drive a Volkswagen or a Chevy, that you have to drive a GMC or Dodge? Once the government starts telling you what you have to buy and what you have to purchase, at that point it becomes communism. And I got to say, the Republicans had a chance to do something with it, and when Ryan was in there, they took a crap on it, and it was not just the Democrats, it was the Republicans and the Democrats both together. Socialized medicine does not work.
The biggest problem with getting new health insurance, we're stuck with the Obamacare until another election, is they didn't do it with 51 votes. They need 60 votes. The Republicans only had 52 votes, 51 votes. So they never had enough votes in the Senate to get it passed. It passed the House. The Senate wouldn't pass it. The Democrats killed it. But they couldn't kill the individual mandate because Mitchell was real smart and somehow got that in on the 51 vote deal. So apparently, if you want big change, you got to somehow slip it into some sort of reconciliation bill where it only takes 51 votes. But that's probably not the best way to do business.
And I don't know what the solution is for medical. I know it's not where.
I think, first of all, you should be able to know what it costs before you go get it. I mean, you can't, you go in for you go to the doc, you don't know what it costs. You go order some tests, you don't know what they cost. You get all the bills on the back end. They tell you need surgery, you don't know what it costs. Then you got to sign a bunch of paperwork, and then next thing you know, it's a $200,000 bill. And you might have could have gotten that surgery somewhere else for half.
Yep.
If you could shop around, that might help. But, and then get rid of the prescription drugs are way, way high. Do something about prescription drugs. Why should we pay more than Canada? I think we should get the same deal that Canadians get on our prescription drugs.
Hello, Pauline. She said she's paying the same for gas as Vermont. Okay. But you're right about that. You're right about that now.
Green Mountain State.
I'm on heart medication, right? Okay. My heart medication, and I've got a bad ticker. Most people don't know that. But that's why they try to piss me off so they can get rid of me sooner. It's not going to work. I'm going to live to be 300. But my one heart medication, it's over $1,200 a month here in the United States. I can get the same medication through Canada for $143.
I'm going to. I'll order it from Canada if I can. I want to order it from Canada. I think Trump may have passed a bill to allow you to do that. He may have gotten some regulation or some bill through. I think we can do that now.
Yep, Trump did. He passed. Trump and the Republicans passed, and I believe it might have been bipartisan, but they passed a bill now, the right to try. But they also in that bill was included that now we can purchase drugs that it's approved by the FDA here. We can purchase those through Canada now. And we can bring them in, like Renexa, the one that I'm on. That's an expensive damn drug. I mean, that's $800-900 a month for me to be on it when I can get it out of Canada for $150.
Wow.
I mean, it's still quite expensive, but the bipartisanship thing on the thing, if it passes, they're going to make sure that the drug costs are cut in half. Now, I've never seen any other president do that. Not Obama, not Bush, not any of them, not Clinton. But the one thing about Trump is he's at least trying and he's fighting. And he is more transparent than any president that I've seen, and I've been alive for a long time, girl.
Yeah, I like a guy that, you know how he thinks, and he's a smart guy. I mean, he definitely wants to, to be the lead dog, and I like that. I don't want to lead from behind. I did the whole Obama foreign policy was such a disaster for this country. I mean, it was just terrible. And it's just so refreshing to see a guy that's strong. We haven't had somebody this strong since Reagan. And he may go down as a better president than Reagan. And in many ways he is. But the fact of the matter is Reagan though had a special touch. The media liked Reagan a little bit more than they like Trump. But I'll say this: the media was awful hard on Reagan, and the British, Europe, they hated Reagan.
Oh
They
yeah.
didn't really like Reagan. Margaret Thatcher developed a relationship with him, but the British press hated Reagan. And so they want a weak American president. If you're a strong American president, Europe's not going to be crazy about you.
Oh.
Europe's such a mess, and they want to tell everybody what to do, and and in Europe they bow down to Islam, and I have a real problem with Europe, in that regard. I mean, they're afraid to criticize Muhammad. They're afraid to anything Islam is like off limits. You don't even have free speech in Europe, so they can have Europe. I'll look at the pictures. Maybe I go and visit, but I wouldn't want to live there.
Now, Kimberly,
but I don't think I'd want to live there.
Kimberly, if you'll send me a private message, there are programs that will help you if you don't have insurance, and we will help you get some help. I mean, as far as health insurance and stuff like that. But there are programs, and there are a list. I've got a whole list. I don't have it. I usually talk about it on Friday nights, but I have a whole list of organizations that will. Yeah, I do right here. I have a whole list of organizations that will help you out. And especially if you have children. If you have children, and I don't know if you do or not, just text me and tell me if you do, or send me a private message, and I'll get some people that'll help you out with that stuff.
Travis, what's the name of that outfit that's got that drug prescription card, and it's available to anybody, and you save a lot of money with
Needy
that
Meds.
Card. What's it called?
Needy Meds. It's the other side of that, Chris. There you go.
Needing Meds, or what's something Meds?
Yeah, it's Needy Meds. NEEDY MEDS.
That's one. Yeah, there's a couple of them. I saw one on TV, but you save a lot of money with certain
that's
cards that are available.
There's some numbers for you up here, Kimberly. We just put them up, but I mean, you have all kinds of stuff. You have Christian charities. I mean, there's all kinds of groups where the government doesn't have to get involved that are willing to help. And then there's some government groups.
This is really big. There is a Christian-based health insurance program. It's really not health insurance, but it's some special deal where everybody's puts money in, and when somebody gets sick, they take care of their bills. And I know that the guy that does the war show, I forget what his name is, he just had a surgery, and I forget the name of it, but it's some sort of Christian-based, and my healthcare provider mentioned it to me once. It was cheaper than Obamacare. I might want to look at it.
Yeah, Martha wrote, for so many years, conservatives have been non-confrontational, but I think we're tired of being told to sit down and shut up. Opinions don't count. When Donald Trump came into play, he gave a voice to our frustration. He doesn't care what people say, and I'll add to that, or think. But that's a good point. But back onto this stuff, the group that Greg's talking about, that's one of the groups I'm going to help hook up with, Kimberly. They are co-op, and you can pay in a little bit at a time. The longer you go, and it's just like a savings account, what the Republicans are talking about doing now. It's a co-op insurance, and it's where a bunch of people buy into an insurance company, and that's people that are healthy and some that are sick, and it's like a savings account, and that goes up, and they match it dollar for dollar. You have different groups that match it, even if you call 211 on your phone, but they match it dollar for dollar. So when you do get sick, you've at least got some insurance. Now, it is a 20/80, just like was actually cheaper than what Obamacare was. You're responsible for 20% of the payment, and there's 80%. Now, they can write you off as indigent. The hospitals can, especially if you go to Baptist Hospital up in Jacksonville. They have an indigent care up there. So if you can't afford it, Baptist Hospital doesn't charge you. There's a couple other groups that don't charge either. A couple other hospital groups that will not charge you if you can't afford to pay. So just send me a private message, girl, and give me a call tomorrow, and I'll walk through some of the stuff with you on it, because we're not out to bash anybody. That's what we're here for, is to help people.
I wish I could remember the name of that Christian co-op, but it sounded like a good deal. I might want to look at it myself.
Yeah, I think Saint Vincent de Paul is one of them. that runs a co-op, Christian co-op. I know Catholic Services. I think, I'm not sure, but I think Catholic Christian Services also runs a co-op.
Well, there's a lot of different things out there, so just check it out. And not only that, there are some doctors now that will see you on a fee for service quite a bit less. And I went to one, and they set me up with some free samples and knocked my cold right out.
Yeah. Now, also, if Kimberly, I don't know if you live in Putnam County. Todd said it's Christian Healthcare Ministries is the one whose it is, but
that could be it. That's really probably it could be a good one.
If there's also Kimberly, there's also a group up in Crescent City, a group of doctors, and I forget the name of the church, but it's in the right behind the old YMCA building, and you can call them and check with them. How you doing, Paul? Paul just joined in, but it's right behind the old YMCA building, right there off of Union. If you go there, they do not charge you. It's a group of wonderful doctors, and you need medicine. They will help you get the medicines, but they do physicals. They do all kinds of stuff. If you're sick, you can go in there, and they do not charge you. It's a group of doctors in Putnam County and outside the county, and it's a free doctor's office. Might take you a little while to get in there, but it is free. It does not cost anything. There's also a dental group up in Crescent City that I believe doesn't charge you anything as well. And there's
I'm
like...
Sure they have you have to just get proactive and look into it.
Yeah, and that's what we're here to do, and plus poke fun at the Democrats and Republicans, especially Sitting Bull there.
We try to provide a public service, and some of this information is conjecture based on fact.
Yeah, now it's also University of Gainesville, and some of these medical colleges, like over in the University of Gainesville, it works on a lottery system. But if they show up and they've need dental work done. They have to get there.
Yeah, because they're training these dentists, and they need to train on somebody, but they're supervised by a real good dentist.
Yeah.
So you could actually get free dental care while helping dental students become better dentists. They're like practicing on you.
Yeah, and also,
it might be good.
Also,
but anyway, there's all kinds of things out there. And my gosh, dentists cost a lot of money these days. Yeah. I just had to take my kid to the dentist this afternoon, $224.
Yeah. Now, one of the groups that I like a lot, and this is and I'm just using Kimberly's name out here because she has written in about it, but also Azalea Healths have sliding scales. Now, there's Azalea Healths in every city. Yeah. Azalea Healths work off of a sliding scale. And if you go into there and on your sliding scale and you say, I don't make any money, then your charge is like $5. I sent a guy over there that had a heart condition, didn't have any medical insurance. It cost him $35, and that was with his medication. And then he went to my cardiologist over there. A lot of these doctors, if you don't have any money, they do have sliding scales. So it's not necessarily that instead of spending your premiums on a lot of insurance that you're never going to use, get with some of these different organizations. She says she lives in Salt Spring. Okay. There is an Azalea Health, I believe, over there, Kimberly. If not, just give me a call tomorrow and I'll find you some places, or our staff will look it up. Greg's not going to look it up. He's going to be trying cases tomorrow. He's going to be getting some pothead off a bust.
But you're good at that. She's in good hands with you. And, that's part of what you do that makes, Black a better town, is you're actually out there trying to help people in your community. As a matter of fact, some people could call you a community organizer, but we don't want to, tarnish you with that legacy of community organizer, because many of us think of Obama. What a terrible job he did as president, okay?
My ex-wife calls me an asshole. So.
I'm going to tell you, the guy actually made Jimmy Carter look like a better president. I mean, I couldn't believe anybody could elevate the presidency of Jimmy Carter.
Mr. Peanut Farmer?
But Obama elevated the Carter presidency.
You know what I loved about Jimmy Carter? The main thing about him?
His brother.
You damn straight. Billy Beer.
Billy Carter.
There's the thing for Azalea Health for you people that are wanting to know Azalea Health. There's their website and a group. You can go to Azalea Health or azahealth.org, and you can get the information on that. And they also put up, staff just put up at Azalea Health, the doctors and care is provided for. Now, let me ask you, got Mueller's probe. It's supposed to come to an end this week. It was supposed to be last week.
Praise the Lord.
But Shifty Shift now. Oh, Adam Schiff.
He's an idiot, and everybody knows it.
Now he's backtracking everything. And, what's the guy's name? He's had a talk show.
He should go to jail for being in collusion with Fusion, but go ahead.
He's a talk show host. And the other night they asked, Adam Schiff, why he doesn't go on Hannity on Fox. And it just roasted him. And I couldn't believe that was coming from the left for him to tell Shifty Schiff. Now, Shifty Schiff, for some of you people that don't know it, Adam Schiff, he was colluding, thinking he was colluding with Russia. Okay, well, I got a thing up here. He thought he was colluding with Russia to get some crap on Trump. Turns out they were just screwing with him and stuff. And now he's going after Donald Trump. But you don't even
want to talk about it. This is a guy, a Democrat in Congress, trying to collude with Russia, find dirt on the president.
Okay.
And it wasn't even Russians. It was kind of like they made him look stupid, which is not that hard to do. I mean, for instance, OAC, how hard is it to make that look stupid?
Okay, you have a question here, Greg. Martha wants to know, she said, ask Greg about Trump's former attorney recording clients' conversations. I was just floored.
That guy's a real idiot. You can't do that. You're not supposed to do that. And that just goes to prove that he was a shyster lawyer. He wasn't Trump's only attorney, okay? Trump's has like 100 attorneys. I mean, he's had many, many, many attorneys. You know, the successful business people, attorneys are like, they're like servants almost. Or like, I mean, there's plenty of attorneys for the super rich because they create legal work, contracts, whatever. But the bottom line is, he was a bad apple, and he was a charlatan, and he was a fraud. I mean, to be honest, recording your own conversations with your client, really? I mean, and then saving them.
Now, she was wanting to know. She was wanting to know.
If it was on a voicemail, I could see that. But you can't just sure up. And here's the problem. In Florida, it's all illegal. But in New York, they don't have to disclose. I think you can basically not tell people you're recording them in New York. In Florida, you're supposed to disclose. If they object, then, there's a problem. But if they don't object, then it's not a problem. But Florida, you need to let the other side know.
She said, well, I was just floored that all that happened from that was being disbarred. Now, in Florida, if you tape your
clients. He should have been disbarred. I mean, this guy should be disbarred, and he's probably already been disbarred.
Kimberly says she loves.
Never do that. He violated attorney-client. You don't do that. You just don't do that.
Kimberly says she loves us, by the way. She doesn't hate us. She said, Pauline wrote Nixon wannabe.
I like Pauline.
Yeah, I love all of our readers and listeners.
You have to admit, though, that's a surly bunch of Democrats running for president. The current lineup, and even if these other people get in, the Democratic Party is lost in the wilderness. Their ideas, just a bunch of socialist crap. And okay, let's let a bunch of illegals come in. Don't build a wall. Welcome them all in. Give them all free benefits. Don't even bother to teach them the English language, but register them to vote.
I'm gonna give.
Don't even teach them about civics or being American or what it is to be an American. Just let them in and let them vote. And there's your Democratic Party. And by the way, late-term abortions are cool.
Before I give you the last word, Martha said, I'm going to give her the last word as far as the readers come in. And if we didn't get to you tonight, I'm sorry. These things are like ticker tapes, all the comments rolling in and stuff. There's only so many I can answer. We try to answer all of them, but there's no way that's ever going to happen. So we pick different ones at different nights. She said he was disbarred. I think he should have had some kind of criminal charges brought as well for the whole taping of illegally taping him.
Yeah. Well, Well, he's going to prison anyway. He's got his, he got his just rewards.
Yep. I'm gonna give you the last minute.
Okay. Well, gee, that's a lot of time. All I can say is not all Democrats are bad people. There's a lot of good people that still vote Democrat because their daddies did, or their mamas did, or their grandmama did, or their grandpapa did. But today's Democrat is not your grandpa or your mom's Democrat Party. It's what? It's not JFK. JFK would be a Republican. Martin Luther King was a Republican. Today's Democratic Party doesn't respect life. It doesn't respect America. It doesn't respect Christians. It doesn't respect Jews. It doesn't respect what made America great, which is individual initiative and capitalism and free markets and, a level playing field where everybody has an opportunity to advance. We're all born equal, but we don't die equal. It's what you make with your life. So I'm a pro-Trumper, and I think we need to get Trump another 4 years to clean up the mess that he inherited from the previous presidents, the previous 3 or 4. We've had some great presidents, but we haven't had many great presidents, and you got to go back to Reagan for a really great president. So we need Trump because he basically saved the Republican Party, and he's helping make America great again. And I do not work for the Trump organization.
I'm going to get you a MAGA hat. Don't worry.
Hey, give me a MAGA hat. I would like to get one. I'm looking to get one.
Okay.
As a matter of fact, I think you can call the White House and get them. I want to get them and just wear them out and see if somebody wants to mess with me.
All right, Greg. Well, thanks for coming on tonight. As always, it's always a privilege talking with you and hosting the show with you.
Hey, my pleasure. It's great. We'll see you next week.
Okay, Greg. All right. You have a good evening.
You too. Bye.
That was Greg Williams, attorney at law. He's out of Jacksonville, Florida, one of the best attorneys I know, and he kicks butt. If you guys need a great attorney, he will go in and fight for you. He does not do murder cases or child molestation or anything like that. But if you guys get in trouble for weed or traffic or anything like that, family law, any of that stuff, Greg will back you. He will also take payments for people that listen to IITW radio. Anyways, guys and gals, the important thing is we're not here to bash people, and like with Kimberly and some of the other people, our whole thing here is to educate and try to get out as much of the truth as we can. There's always 3 sides to a story. There's your side, their side, and somewhere in the middle lies the truth. That's what we try to get at on the show. And the thing is that you need to educate yourselves. It's not Republicans and Democrats. You can find bad, and no matter where you look, you can find bad. Now, on the flip side of that, you can also find good. There's people that will represent in both parties. I mean, there's some great people in both parties. The main important thing to do is this little thing right here. It's called a voter's registration. Sign one of those. Fill it out. Get it in there. And if you're a convicted felon, as long as you've done your time and it isn't for armed robbery and for child molestation, stuff like that, you can get your rights back. So if you've been busted for pot and they told you can't vote anymore, you can. You need to go get a hold of your supervisor of elections. The one in Putnam County is right out there off of 2509 Creel Avenue. Go to the DMV. The important thing is that you voice your opinion and that you vote for what you think is right. You might think socialism is right. It's just like with religion. At the end of the day, one group is going to be right and one is going to be wrong. The important thing is to educate yourselves, get some knowledge in your brains, and pour some knowledge up in that noggin. Study and learn your candidates. Learn what they're talking about. If you have somebody, and go with the facts. I hate to bust on old Cortez here. The young girl, I'm sure she means well, but there's no way feasible. There's no possible way that you can have free everything. There's no such thing as free. Somebody has to pay for it at some point. Socialism doesn't work. Look at Venezuela. It just doesn't work. What works is a good economy And when people that want to work go out there and you earn your own keep. You don't give everybody, you don't take from people to give it to other people. That is called freaking stealing. If I bust my butt and earn something, that's mine. Don't try to take it away from me. I earned that. You didn't earn that. The one great thing about our nation is we live in a nation where you can prosper. You can go out and earn your way if you want to. But why are you going to take it from me and give it to somebody else that isn't working or busting their ass? Now, I'm not saying that it's not, helping somebody out that needs to help, but don't help those that can help themselves. This is the United States of America. It is the greatest country on this planet. Unfortunately, we have problems. There's no perfect society, no matter where you look at it. The thing is just do what's right. Vote. Okay, with that being said, respect your elders, you young people. Respect our veterans. Go up and thank a firefighter. America is not Robin Hood. Exactly, Pauline. When you see a veteran out on the streets, thank them for their service. You see a young man in fatigues, thank them for their service. When you see a firefighter, a volunteer firefighter, or police, or emergency, or EMS workers, walk up and thank them for their service. It goes a long ways. I got to give my shout outs to Mama B, Annette, and Audrey, Tammy, my sidekick, my partner, my best friend in crime. She lives over in Tampa. To Chris for always running the show behind me. To my hobbit over there. He's someplace. He's got 4 fingers. No, 3 fingers. The dog bit one of them off. Put your hand up there and show them. This is why you don't mess with dogs and try to break up fights. See that middle finger's missing? Never get in between 2 dogs fighting or 2 brothers fighting. Hell, it might have been his ex-girlfriend that bit his finger off. But anyways, we love you guys. We'll see you back here tomorrow night. I've got to talk about the meeting that went on with the county. I got to talk about Fort Gates and where we stand with that. I got some great news. I want to thank some of our people that helped out there. Mark at Ryan's Fabrications, Home Depot, Matt and Luann from the stand who donated ropes. My buddy Bob over there at Home Depot who is donating materials to help get Fort Gates up. We'll go into all that tomorrow. To Steve over at St. John's Shipbuilding, who is helping us get the tug. We're going to talk about all that tomorrow. We'll see you back here tomorrow, even at 7:30. We love you guys and gals. We got Austin Neal's a great song, Brothers in Arms, that's closing us out tonight. The song was written about his brother who was in the service and a guitar that he sent to him. It's a true song, true story. This guitar went all over the world. It's been played by hundreds of soldiers, I guess. Great song. We love you guys. We'll see you back here tomorrow night. I'm out.
See the guitar in the corner. It's the one I learned to play on. Believe me or not, it's been all around the world. It's been back and forth to Georgia, Carolina a couple times. But there's that one trip that takes me back in time. On a plane ride to a foreign land, a journey had begun. To a different time with my old man, watching the more dogs run, telling stories and comparing battle scars. Well, they're always among us, brothers in arms. Back to those nights, I'm sitting there, writing letters home, to picking that old 6-string just to keep from feeling alone. Seen some tough times, some crying eyes, but never quit on me. Been through hell and back, even brought us back to where our hearts need to be. On a plane There are ways among us, brothers in